This is Heliox, where evidence meets empathy. Independent, moderated, timely, deep, gentle, clinical, global, and community conversations about things that matter. Breathe easy. We go deep and lightly surface the big ideas. Have you ever bitten into something truly delicious? Maybe a ripe strawberry or a perfectly seared steak and felt completely transported?
Oh, absolutely.
It's more than just what your tongue tells you, isn't it? It feels, I don't know, bigger than that.
It absolutely is. What you're experiencing in that moment, it's actually far more complex than a single taste. It's really an intricate symphony of your senses, all working together, orchestrated by your brain.
And that's exactly our mission today. We want to journey into the fascinating science of flavor perception.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack how your brain creates that rich, dynamic experience we call flavor from like a whole orchestra of different sensory inputs.
And we've pulled together insights from some really groundbreaking neurobiology, cutting-edge food science, even, the language we use to describe food.
So this deep dive should give you a real shortcut to understanding one of the most fundamental but often overlooked human experiences.
By the end, you'll hopefully gain a whole new appreciation for every bite and sip you take.
Yeah, and understand the intricate dance happening inside your head every single time you eat. So let's get started.
Okay.
Let's begin with what most people think of as flavor, which is just taste, right?
Yeah.
Gustation, those core sensations. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter.
Umami or savory.
Right, umami, and maybe even fat. But these aren't just random sensations, are they? They have a real purpose.
That's absolutely right. Each of these basic taste qualities acts as a vital signal. Sweetness, well, that points to energy. Calories.
Okay.
Saltiness indicates electrolytes, super important for our bodies. Sourness can warn of low pH, maybe spoilage. Savory, umami, signals protein, building blocks.
Wow.
And bitter. Well, that's often the body's alarm for potential toxins.
No.
Because a lot of poisonous things just happen to taste bitter. So taste is fundamentally about finding good stuff and avoiding bad stuff.
It's like your mouth has its own built-in nutritionist and safety inspector.
Kind of, yeah.
But how does it actually work? Like down at the molecular level, what's going on in the taste buds?
So it all starts with these specialized proteins. They're called taste receptors, and they sit on your taste buds. Think of it like a very specific lock and key system.
Okay.
Only the right molecule, say a sugar molecule, fits its specific receptor. That unlocks a signal.
Right.
And that binding kicks off this rapid chain reaction inside the cell, eventually leading to neurotransmitter release, which sends that sweet signal straight to your brain.
Fascinating. So it's this really precise molecular recognition. But eating is so much richer than just taste buds, right? What about the feel of the food, the crunch, the creaminess?
Exactly. That's where oral somatosensation comes in, or more commonly known as mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel, okay.
It's distinct from taste and aroma, covers all those physical sensations, temperature, texture, even the force you need to chew or swallow something.
Huh. I didn't know I had such a technical background.
Yeah, the term mouthfeel was actually coined back in the 1930s. And it's interesting, it has parallels in other cultures, like the Chinese term kogan for tea, which talks about its thickness and viscosity.
So it's not just a fancy word for texture then, it's a whole other sensory dimension.
Precisely.
And it makes sense because taste receptors aren't floating alone on the tongue, are they?
Definitely not. They're sitting right next to thermoreceptors for temperature, mechanoreceptors for pressure and texture, and even nociceptors, which detect pain or irritation. So anything you taste also triggers tactile and thermal sensations.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes even what we call chemesthetic sensations, like that burning or stinging from strong acids or salts.
I can totally feel that difference. Like think about smooth chocolate versus a gritty pear.
Exactly. Or how the thickness of a liquid, its body, affects how it feels. Or how fat droplets in, say, ice cream coat your tongue, that creamy sensation. It's all mouthfeel.
It seems especially huge in beverages. Wine people talk about body, beer people talk about mouthfeel constantly.
Absolute critical. In wine, you've got viscosity, temperature, carbonation, fizz, acidity, tannins creating that drying feeling, astringency.
Right, astringency.
For beer, think about the warmth from alcohol, maybe dryness from tannins, the carbonation, and tea, that kogan idea, thickness, viscosity, even a sweet aftertaste, all key mouthfeel components.
Okay, so we've got taste signals and these mouthfeel signals. The real magic starts when they blend. Where does that first happen? In the brain, I assume.
Surprisingly early on, actually. These signals travel up through cranial nerves to a hub deep in the brainstem, the nucleus of the solitary tract, or NTS.
Okay.
And what's crucial is that the touch and temperature signals from the mouth immediately join the taste inputs right there in the NTS.
Wow, right away.
Yeah, it's not just a relay station. There's significant overlap. And this overlap continues in higher areas too, like the thalamus and the primary gustatory cortex. In fact, that taste cortex has neurons that respond to both touch and taste. Bimodal neurons.
Bimodal, meaning two modes. Taste and touch mingling from the get-go.
Exactly. Suggests really extensive early interaction.
Okay, taste and touch are already buddies in the brainstem. Amazing. But now let's bring in maybe the most surprising player in this whole flavor symphony smell.
Ah, yes, olfaction. It's absolutely key.
Mm-hmm.
While taste and mouthfeel give crucial info,
Mm-hmm.
it's the olfactory component, the smell, that's really required for flavor identification. Meaning, without smell, lots of foods would just taste generically sweet or salty. You wouldn't know it was strawberry versus raspberry or chocolate versus, I don't know, caramel.
Got it. And smell isn't just one thing, right? There are two ways we smell.
That's correct. There's orthonasal olfaction. That's what you normally think of as smelling. You inhale through your nose, sense odors from out there in the world, smelling pizza down the street.
Okay, the outside world.
Then there's retronasal olfaction. This happens during chewing and swallowing. Volatile molecules get released in your mouth.
Right.
And they travel up the back of your throat through the epipharynx to hit your olfactory receptors from behind.
So that's the smell of the pizza as you're chewing it.
Precisely. One's detecting what's out there, the other's detecting what's in your mouth.
Okay, so do these two smell signals immediately jump in with taste and touchdown in the brainstem?
No. And this is really interesting. Both ortho and retronasal signals go to the olfactory bulb first via the olfactory nerve. But their information only converges with taste and oral somatosensation in higher order brain regions.
Higher order? Like where?
Places like parts of the insula and, importantly, the orbital frontal cortex, or OFC.
Okay, so there's a delay before smell joins the party. Why is that significant?
Well, this delay allows for a really fascinating perceptual illusion, one that fundamentally shapes how we experience flavor.
And this is where it gets weird, right? The taste-smell confusion.
Exactly. This is where it gets really interesting. It's this incredible illusion where those retronasally sensed odors, the ones coming up the back of your throat, somehow feel like they're coming from inside your mouth, like they're part of the taste, even though they're technically smells detected by your olfactory system.
Wow. Is there proof of that?
Oh, yeah. A classic study back in the 70s, Murphy and colleagues, they gave people taste-odor mixtures. And even when the smell was the main thing providing the quality, people attributed about 80% of the perceived intensity to taste. So, for instance, ethyl butyrate, it smells fruity, kind of sweet. People perceived it as a sweet taste.
But wait, the smell molecule isn't actually triggering the sweet taste buds on the tongue, is it?
No, absolutely not. That's the key. Other studies confirm this. If you pinch your nostrils closed so you block that retronasal pathway,
Right.
those chemicals that smell sweet, like the strawberry aroma chemical, they don't actually taste sweet on their own. The sweet quality is purely from the odor, sensed retronasally, but the brain locates it to the mouth.
It's like a brain trick, creating one unified feeling.
It's a remarkable trick. It makes the experience coherent.
This idea of smell being perceived differently depending on the route, it sounds like what Paul Rozin called the dual sense modality hypothesis.
It connects perfectly. Rozin proposed back in '82 that olfaction is a dual sense, orthonasal for checking out the external world, retronasal specifically for sensing what's in the mouth.
Huh.
He even pointed out how people sometimes dislike the smell of things like fish or certain cheeses,
Yeah, I know people like that.
but they actually like the taste. It suggests the same smell molecule can feel different depending on whether your brain processes it as out there or in here.
So how do scientists test this referral thing cleanly, like without chewing and stuff, confusing?
Clever experiments. Researchers like Hummel used tubes, basically. They could deliver an odorant puff either just inside the nostrils for orthonasal
Okay.
or further back into the epipharynx, simulating retronasal smell, but without anything actually being in the mouth.
Ah, neat trick.
And even with identical smells delivered this way, people consistently said the retronasal ones felt like they were coming from their throat or mouth, while the orthonasal ones felt like they were in the nose.
But it wasn't just the food being there, it was the direction the smell traveled from.
It strongly suggests the directional flow itself is a major cue for the brain in creating this localization illusion.
Okay, so smells get referred to the mouth. Does it work the other way? Can touch, like, guide where we think a taste is?
Yes, absolutely. It's not just smell referral. Taste sensations can also be referred to where you feel touch on your tongue.
Really?
Yeah, Todd Drake and Bartoshik showed this in 91. They noted that when you eat, taste seems to come from all over your tongue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though your taste buds are actually clustered in specific spots. They called it a ventriloquist effect.
Like a ventriloquist throwing their voice.
Exactly. Touch on the tongue basically throws the taste sensation to that touched location. Touch dominates taste localization, helping create this unified feeling that everything taste, touch, referred smell is happening in the same place.
Wow. It really is a grand illusion, pulling everything together. And speaking of pulling together, you mentioned odors often have taste-like qualities. Strawberry smells sweet.
Yes, they do. And these associations can be learned through experience. So you have this blurring of the lines between taste and smell qualities, plus you have the smell being located in the mouth.
Uh-huh.
And together, that makes it much easier for the brain to fuse everything into one single perception, a unitary percept.
Which brings us to this core idea you mentioned, the flavor object. What exactly is that?
Right. Think of flavor as a kind of perceptual object, or maybe perceptual gestalt that your brain constructs.
Gestalt, like the whole is more than the sum of its parts.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Distinct sensory inputs, smell, taste, touch, temperature, they all interact and fuse into this coherent perception. But importantly, the individual elements often still maintain some of their unique qualities. It's not just a mush.
Okay.
It's described as a configurational process. Your brain encodes the whole pattern of stimulation, not just isolated bits. And this allows for what researchers call limited analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You can often still pick out, say, the saltiness within the overall tomato soup flavor.
So it's integrated, but not totally blended into nothingness. The brain weaves it together. Is there a specific spot in the brain doing this weaving?
Research points towards a specific cortical region, often called the somatomotor mouth area.
The somatomotor
Yeah,
relating to sensation and movement in the mouth.
exactly. fMRI studies, like one by Small and colleagues in 2005, showed this area lights up more for retronasal smells compared to orthonasal ones.
Interesting. Regardless of what the smell was?
Yes, regardless of the odor identity. This area is active when people report experiencing flavor. It seems to play a key role in this perceptual binding and the oral referral of smell. It helps shape those multimodal neurons we talked about.
So maybe that's the brain's flavor binding hub. How does the brain actually learn these complex flavor objects so we recognize, chocolate instantly?
It seems to happen through what's called configural learning.
Hmm?
The brain doesn't just link sweet and cocoa smell separately. It learns the entire pattern, the specific combination of taste, smell, texture, etc. that is chocolate.
Configural, like the whole configuration.
Right. And this learning is surprisingly robust. For example, the way odors enhance taste qualities is very resistant to being unlearned, even if you try to counter-condition it. It suggests a deeper form of learning than simple association.
That makes sense. And it really underlines what you said about olfaction's privileged role.
It really does, because food identity recognizing what you're eating depends mostly on that olfactory channel, usually the retronasal one.
Right. Lots of things are sweet, but only one is strawberry.
Precisely. And neurologically, it seems that when you perceive a flavor, the neurons responding to both taste and retronasal smell, those bimodal cells in the OFC and insula, they get modified.
Uh-huh.
But the neurons that just represent the pure smell itself, maybe in the piriform cortex, they remain unmodified. So the flavor object you experience is like the original smell object, plus these newly tuned multisensory responses.
Wow, that's incredibly complex. Okay, let's bring this back down to earth. How do everyday things, like just paying attention or what we expect, influence this?
They have a huge impact. Attention is critical. If you really focus on your food, put the phone away, savor it,
Yeah.
you're much better at perceiving the complexities of the flavor. Distraction, on the other hand, significantly impairs flavor perception.
Makes sense. And expectations, too. If I think something will be sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your expectations can actually shape your perception. If you expect sweetness, your brain is sort of primed to find it, maybe even enhancing a subtle sweetness. It shows how much your brain actively constructs the experience.
It's not just passive reception. This deep understanding must be gold for food scientists and chefs, right?
Oh, completely. Knowing taste mechanisms helps develop better low-calorie sweeteners, for example.
All right.
And in the kitchen, Chefs use this understanding constantly. Think about molecular gastronomy, foams, gels, spherification. Those are often about manipulating mouthfeel, using fat replacers and emulsifiers. It's all about crafting specific sensory experiences based on these principles.
And a big part of appreciating all that, and even just talking about it, is having the words, right, the sensory lexicon.
Exactly. The sensory lexicon is just the vocabulary we use for taste, smell, texture, appearance. It gives everyone, from chefs to critics to us, a common language.
And that language has evolved, hasn't it?
Massively. From basic terms like sweet-sour to much more nuanced things like umami or terroir in wine, describing the environmental influence.
So for you listening, maybe keeping a flavor journal, really trying to describe what you taste and smell and feel, that could actually enhance the experience.
It absolutely can.
A lot.
It sharpens your perception, helps you appreciate complexity, boosts creativity if you cook, even helps with pairing foods.
It also touches on something fascinating culture. Mouthfeel, for instance, isn't valued the same everywhere, is it?
Not at all. It varies hugely. Western cuisine often focuses heavily on the main flavors, maybe, whereas many Eastern cuisines place a huge emphasis on texture and sensation, the springiness of noodles, the stickiness of rice, the crunch of vegetables. It's central.
So our background, what we grew up eating, really shapes our perception.
Profoundly. Your personal experiences, your age, exposure to different foods, it all molds your unique flavor world.
And finally, this isn't just about enjoyment, is it? There are health angles, too.
Yes, definitely. Research shows flavor intensity influences consumption. More flavorful foods often get eaten in larger amounts. So understanding flavor can help create healthier foods that are still appealing and satisfying, which could nudge people towards better eating habits.
So let's recap. We've seen flavor isn't just taste. It's this amazing multi-sensory experience woven together by the brain from taste, mouthfeel, temperature, and critically smell, especially that retronasal smell from inside the mouth.
Right. And the brain performs this incredible trick of oral referral, binding it all into a unified flavor object.
An illusion really orchestrated perhaps in that somatomotor mouth area.
It's an extraordinary piece of neurological engineering, creating this seamless experience from all these different threads.
So the next time you eat or drink something, maybe just pause for a second. Consider this. What are you really experiencing beyond just taste? Can you sense the retronasal smell, the texture, the temperature?
And think about how consciously paying attention, maybe even trying to find the words for it, might change that experience for you.
Yeah. Could it transform your own gastronomic journey? Perhaps the real secret to deeper enjoyment isn't just in the food itself, but in the incredible magic your brain performs to bring it all together.
Thanks for listening today. 4 recurring narratives underlie every episode: boundary dissolution, adaptive complexity, embodied knowledge, and quantum-like uncertainty. These aren't just philosophical musings, but frameworks for understanding our modern world. We hope you continue exploring our other podcasts, responding to the content, and checking out our related articles at helioxpodcast.substack.com.